Hello, you're watching another video about polygons in simulated space. This one's about sculpting quality hands. Often referred to as the feet of the arms, the hands are a complete character by themselves. There's a huge variety of hands, and each one is as articulate and expressive as the characters they're attached to. Hands are important. They're also one of the main things that people will look at when they see your character, but oftentimes 3D artists tend to gloss over or do minimal work on the hands because they're thought of as being one of the more difficult things to sculpt. Here's some of the things to keep in mind when sculpting hands, and some tools to help you troubleshoot if your hands are looking strange. A well-constructed hand with good proportions is great, but we rarely see hands on characters looking flat out, fingers straight, doing nothing. There's an unlimited number of poses, designs, and approaches, so you might be wondering what separates good hands from just okay ones. Here's a couple things to keep in mind to make your hands better than just any old bone glove. When sculpting hands for stylized characters, readability is everything, and generally it's better to communicate with the least amount of information possible that provides the quickest and easiest read. Essentially, less is more. This means minimizing any kind of interior details like here in the palm that don't directly affect the silhouette in a meaningful way. It's a good rule of thumb to follow when trying to discern how much anatomy or information should actually show up in the 3D version of your concept. Just like the rest of the body, the hand can almost always be described with a complex side and a simple side. Finding this balance from all angles can be tricky, but it helps sell the intention of the pose, further the line of action, and direct the viewer's eye. Hands take the shape of the action. Hands are amazing tools suited to a variety of tasks. It's part of what makes them seem so complex at times. When we reach for an object or move to manipulate something, our hand takes the shape of the action it's about to perform. It's totally subconscious and automatic when we do it, but not so easy to remember when it's time to sculpt a hand. Sculpting up a hand from scratch is a great exercise and can be a lot of fun, and modeling one out with good proportions is valuable because you can reuse it later. But sometimes we need to move a little quicker than that, and also keep in mind that the hand gets a little distorted in pose. So I like to start most hands with a mesh I've already built. Regardless of how you start modeling the hand, you'll want to have some sort of decent supportive topology on the hand before you start actually posing it, which is what I've started with right here. I've also included the model with this video for you to use for practice. Practice only though, right? Anyway, this hand is built pretty low res, so you can divide it up once and get a decent resolution, or make easy changes to the mesh if you need to. Color coding your hand with polygroups is a great way to be able to quickly select different parts of the hand, different fingers, digits, as well as keep track of which spans you're using for bends in the knuckles or in the individual fingers themselves. You can see here that I make use of ZBrush's mask topological feature quite a bit. In order to do that, with your gizmo selected, just hold down Control and drag along the topology of your fingers. By tapping Alt at the end of your stroke, ZBrush keeps your mask nice and crisp, which allows you to be a little bit more accurate. Whenever I'm posing anything, I like to go slow and take my time. I want to make sure that I'm preserving the volume of the hand as I sculpt it. I want to make sure that my silhouette is still clear and readable. And I want to make sure that the hand doesn't look awkward by having the fingers move in a strange bend order or putting them into a pose that feels unnatural. All right, that's going to be it. So remember, regardless of what type of character that you're sculpting, readability is key. If we can't tell what your hands are doing, then they don't come off as the expressive, wonderful little creatures that they are. I hope that you'll make good use of the included hand model. It's an excellent place to start stylized hands for any kind of character. As always, happy sculpting, and we'll see you on the next adventure of polygons in simulated space.